60 Minutes Overtime.
And this is where Paley's office will be up in here.
This week on 60 Minutes, we profiled George Clooney, who is making his Broadway debut in Good Night and Good Luck.
Good evening.
Good Night and Good Luck focuses on Edward Murrow.
This is no time for men who oppose Senator McCarthy's methods to keep silent.
And in the mid-50s, Edward Murrow was this pioneering journalist who confronted Senator McCarthy.
You know, the Civil Liberties Union has been listed as a front for and doing the work of the Communist Party.
This is the height of Red Scare and the House Un-American Activities Committee, and this sort of war on anyone perceived to be a communist.
It is necessary to investigate before legislating.
Edward Murrow was one of these voices of courage that essentially stood up to the bully.
And the junior senator from Wisconsin
has stepped over it repeatedly.
Clooney wrote the story with his longtime friend and creative partner, Grant Heslov.
This was not done as a political statement. We did this because we think this is something that is a constant battle and will always be a constant battle between commerce and information, between governments and information. It's unfortunate that it's a little more prescient now. They set a high watermark of journalistic responsibility.
And these guys, I mean, they gave birth to, the show that George and I are sitting here on right now. I mean,
Don Hewitt was the director.
One of the characters in Good Night and Good Luck is Don Hewitt.
Call Louisville Airport and ask him to page Hughes Rodd of CBS, please.
Hewitt directed See It Now, the Murrow-led program that is the central stage of Good Night and Good Luck. And Hewitt would later go on to create 60 Minutes.
And we're out.
We spoke to Will Dagger, the actor who plays Hewitt.
I read his book that he wrote, or one of the books that he wrote, Tell Me a Story. And I also just watched a bunch of interviews with him.
Send me the rough itinerary when you can, and let's talk about this. I'll call you tomorrow.
There's a twinkle that he has in his eye, and also a way that he uses his temper.
One of some 80s scattered along the city's flood control wall.
It's kind of insane what he was able to see before anybody else saw it. When John Glenn orbited the globe and he had the idea of putting their broadcasts on these big TVs in Grand Central so that people could stop and watch, and then they were filming those people to give everybody a sense that they're sharing this moment with all these people.
It's 28 minutes. I could clip a little bit off the end.
I think we have to leave it alone, Don. It's very smart. No time for a rebuttal.
It's his second TV job, and he's keeping his head down and just trying to do his job well and not let the pressure get to him.
It's front loaded. How much? By about 5 seconds. 5 seconds? That's too much!
Another thing he liked to say was that no matter how dire whatever it was being broadcast, no matter how scary it was, there is levity, and you kind of have to have that.
There's nothing fun about this one.
Another character in the play is Fred Friendly, played by Glenn Fleshler. Friendly created See It Now with Murrow and was his right-hand man during those high-pressure moments. Friendly would later become president of CBS News and help create the Public Broadcasting Service, or PBS.
Is he being brought before the committee?
no.
Clooney played the role of Friendly in the 2005 film, but switched hats for the Broadway adaptation. He's now playing Murrow himself. You didn't play Murrow. Why did you not want to play him?
Murrow had a gravitas to him that at 42 years old I wasn't able to pull off, even though we wrote it for me to do. As a director, I wouldn't have hired me to play that part at that point.
Why was the time right to play him now?
Well, the honest truth was we wrote the play, and I hadn't thought about playing the part, and I wasn't all that confident that I was the right guy to play the part. And then so I did a couple of read-throughs, script read-throughs with the gangs, and once I realized that I thought I might be able to pull it off, then I thought, okay, well then let's try.
George Clooney wrote this play about the 50s, clearly hoping that it would have some resonance. Today, he did not realize, and spoke very openly about this, just how on the nose it would be when CBS, this very network, found itself in the crosshairs of the president and in the crosshairs of some competing business interests. This play, for better or worse, really hits in 2025.
You make this point that friction between power, whether it's political power or business power, And the media, what you call the fourth estate, that's nothing new.
Nothing new. In fact, there's a reason why we built, the freedom of speech into the First Amendment. It's that important to us. It matters that much to us. Infringing on that it's a very slippery slope.